Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first race of this back half of the NSCA Cup Series 2023 season. I'm joined by Cody Goforth. Cody, it's been a while since you have joined me on one of these, but I'm glad to have you back. And we're here at Orlando. So it's a 3 mile track, and we run in the clockwise direction. What do you think of it?
Gonna be very interesting to see how this track race is. Haven't really seen much about it, but honestly, I'm just glad to be here. It's a beautiful facility. Been a great couple of weeks for racing lately.
Yeah,
So
well, I wouldn't say a couple of weeks. Last week was certainly interesting. Kind of a bit of an anticlimactic finish, and the less said about Toronto, the better. But the races before those were pretty good.
for the most part, but
Uh,
this should be.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this should be very fun to see how things go down. I'm excited to see how these drivers handle the high banks here in Orlando.
Yep. Of course, the last time I recorded a race at this facility, it was the 2018 season, and we had a photo finish with Cody Lamas taking the win in that. So perhaps we're going to see that again tonight. Maybe, hopefully. Eh,
Maybe.
We got 54 laps to find out here. It is William Montoya with a surprising pole position. That Riles Corporate Racing team has really found some speed the last couple weeks. Of course, it was announced earlier this week or last week, somewhere around there, that they are going to be merging together with a couple of other teams in forming a new team called Pact 3 Racing, and it's going to be a three-car Mercedes team for next year. So that is going to be interesting to see. Ray Nikita will line up on the outside pole technically. Ricky Freeman Jr. Is up there in third. Then you got Alana Hero, R.J. Bishop, last week's winner Jensen Nomina, Darian Armstrong for Britta Crown Jr., Samuel Henson Jr., all the juniors are up into the top 10, and then Hunter Kiro rounding out the top 10 starting spots. And not the best of luck for that 92 team the last couple of weeks. Uh, Mid-pack showing at Toronto, and then finishing, I think, just outside the top 10 at Pocono. So they've really taken a hit, or Hunter has really taken a hit in points, but if he's still been leading the championship for quite a while, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold on to the points lead today. Crago has taken over the second spot in points with Cody Lamas's a little bit worse luck, but still, points otherwise haven't really shaken up all that much. I mean, I know Cody, you just finally passed the previous driver of the 44 car that started the season in points after Pocono, so that's good for you.
About time, man. Golly.
And of course, with that finish at Pocono, that does put you guys back into the top, or puts the 44 Pathfinder crew back into the top 25 in owners points. So, of course, last week at Pocono, it was the first race back for Theodore Cox and whatnot. So he didn't do too well in that race. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. It looks like he's rolling off 13th here tonight at Orlando. And once again, I forget to change the large spoiler or change the wings to large spoilers. Well, I guess we're doing wings at a super speedway race. Why not? It's a fictional
Oh
track.
boy.
Yeah, it's good. It's a fictional track. Why not?
You only live once, right?
Yeah, something like that. Although I thought we were gamers. We would live multiple lives.
Valid. Depends what game you play, because in some games you die in game, you die for real.
Hello, Sword Art Online. Or Tron.
Anyways, as they're making their way around the right hand turn, the right. This is gonna be taking a lot to get used to for these drivers. Who's gonna make some moves here? The high banks. Pace car makes a hard right hand turn onto pit road and feels in the hands of the top two. Here we go.
Into the restart zone they go. Green flag is out. We're racing at Orlando.
Already cars trying to make some moves. The inside gets a little bit better restart, and we see some cars making a move to the very outside, and one car making look all the way down low. This is getting exciting. Gonna
Yep.
see 3, 4, maybe even 5 wide here today.
And I think this isn't even the widest track on the NSCA Cup Series schedule. That honor goes to Armory Digital Super Speedway, which we are visiting here in a couple of weeks for the return of the EA Sports 500, which should be exciting to watch.
And just right on cue, we see some 5 wide. Maybe a little bit of contact as well. Closer to the front. The 92 got a little bit close to the 82. I'm not sure if they made contact. That would be Hunter Kiro and Kenningberg getting a little bit close together there.
Yep. Ricky Freeman Jr. taking the lead off of turn 2. Cars still getting up to speed, of course. This is a 3-mile long tri-oval circuit. Oh, excuse me, that's off of turn 4. My bad. I
I
missed.
was about to, I was about to say these are 4 turns here. That was coming to the start finish line as we are seeing. Just like I said, 3 wide, 4 wide for P number 3 right there.
That is Theodore Cox pushing Darian Armstrong to get the 84 side by side with William Montoya for second position. Now here comes Cole Dillon trying to look to the inside of the 15. Who's looking to the inside of the 84? Who's looking to the inside of 38? 5
We
wide
have
further back.
5 wide, way in the back. Oh man, Hunter Kira comes down the block. Could he go for trying to do the same? Gonna fall in line behind the number 22 back there.
And they are 5 wide further up front. That's Kenningberg making a move on the 60 of Dillon, who was really leaning on, or had Henson Jr. really leaning on his door there.
Maybe a little bit of slight contact, but Robin's racing cars going all over the racetrack right now, snaking inside, outside, middle lane, 4 wide, 5 wide. Sometimes, and they have been 3 wide the entire time, 4 wide up there near the front.
Of course, contact is not something you want to make on a constant basis here at this facility, or really any type of super speedway, because it can lead to a big, big wreck if things go wrong. And we have seen things go wrong at super speedway races before. In fact, Alana Kiro, who we're focusing on right now, she, along with Jake Crago, both flipped upside down at Atlanta earlier this season, which is now a super speedway race technically. Early on in the going, Craig was able to continue. Alana, don't remember if she was able to continue or not. I think she was. So, as Dylan now up to the lead, Hunter Kira
And
looks
I
to be taking second.
and I saw in the back of the pack we had a couple cars falling out of the draft.
Yeah, that
I don't
was
know if that's
Mikey Willard, I believe. I saw for sure, and the 69 of Logan Morse. Of course, Douglas Racing, that number 69 car. They are one of the 3 teams that are merging into Riles Corporate Racing to form Pack 3. And as we see Cody Hayner on pit road very
it.
early on.
This definitely is an unscheduled pit stop here. What happened to them?
It says he's still on lap 1.
Did he pull in immediately?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
pulled in and
some
just.
something may have gone wrong on that
Oh,
pace lap.
it's a fuel leak.
That would make sense. And we have look at Cody Goforth making his way through the pack. He started in the very back of the pack, and now he's in second place. Very good job. He's making a move down the inside for the race lead.
Also, just want to point out the entirety of the top 5, all Ford vehicles.
Very, very true. Here
Yeah,
comes the 44. Could it go forth down the back straight away?
yeah, in fact, it's about to be the top 6 Ford vehicles as Sean English is was to the inside of Cody Lamas. Looks like Lamas had the run on the outside lane. Interestingly, though, the 22 of William Sparks, who got his first career Cup Series win in the Coke 600 5 races ago, he's pushing the 60 called Dylan clear of Goforth. That's going to allow Dylan to continue leading. He's got his teammate Ryan Vaughn right behind him as well. So Team Penske working together here early in the going. Of course, Team Penske not a good couple of races, the really last few races aside from the Coke 600.
Very true. And that's just how quickly things can change. You can go from leading to dropping way in the back but it looks like that 60's hanging on tight as we see the spread happen down the pack straightaway. Oh boy.
They are practically from the apron to the wall in terms of how wide they are. I wouldn't be
Reminds
surprised
you,
if a spotter would say, "You're yes wide."
yes, wide. Remi- Reminds me of an old song. To the window, to the wall. Everybody's up on the wheel right now.
And that's exactly what I was referencing. Thank you for getting it. Four wide, or two columns deep. I don't know.
Yes. Now about to be three packs deep because looks like we're starting to have a couple of little pack split here as the front starts the single file.
Yep.
Gonna start to spread out a little bit. Just looking like we're getting starting to get single file. Still three wide back here, and we all see it. Everyone knows it. Look out! Reinhardt is coming through.
Yep. Interestingly, interestingly though, we have Glenn Butler up here in the top five as she's now to the inside of William Sparks. It looks like he was kind of hung out to dry a little bit from that single file line. That's going to allow Reinhardt to follow her through into the fifth spot as we see now Max O'Quinn battling Goforth for second. Those are teammates, of course, both for Pathfinder Racing.
It looks like the pack's starting to realize how long this race exactly is and starting to single file out. Three cars down at the bottom right there.
Yep.
I don't know if they were trying to drop back or not. Looks like they might be doing so. Now out on a fourth car in that one. And just like I was saying earlier, look in the back of the pack. The 92 who qualified near the front is way back here.
Yep.
Four wide deep. Steven Merzlak in the four cars back here as well. Qualified near the front.
Yep.
Freeman Jr. qualified top 10.
Yep. Interestingly, though, speaking of the Reinhardt family, Eric Reinhardt Jr. he owns that '88 car that we see and are focused on the Hellman's car here. Uh, you'd think that car would be faster considering who owns it and considering that Eric Reinhardt Jr. was pretty much the Pied Piper of super speedways. Of course, we see now his grandniece, or no, first cousin, once removed. I think that's the proper relation. I don't remember. Um, she's now side by side with Goforth on the outside here as they come off of turn number 4. It's going to be interesting to see if she can get the run. She's being
Yeah,
pushed by O'Quinn, who's being pushed by Butler, and she got Goforth at the line. But interestingly, no one's been able to challenge Cole Dillon.
it's looking like that 60 might be the car to beat right now because that 60, once it got the clean air, it was smooth sailing. Go forth with a pretty big run out of turn 2, but not going to be able to make it work.
Of course, this is what we saw early on in Pocono last time out. It was Goforth and Dillon leading much of the early going there. Of course, they wouldn't win the race. In fact, Dillon, I think, if I recall correctly, would wind up finishing somewhere in the top 10. Goforth, I think, just barely in the top 10. It was Nomina who took the win, like I said, at the top of the show when I was reading off the starting order.
Very true. Top 4 single file now, and they are 3 wide behind.
And they are all forwards, and William Montoya has worked his way back up to the front. Now here comes William Sparks to the inside.
Think the Williams coming up together.
Yep.
They're actually gonna be working together to draft a right around could go for to try to get to Cole Dillon as they are. I thought I saw 6 wide for a second back there.
Yep. And Reinhardt is looking to make it 3 wide going into turn 3. Three,
Reinhardt with
3 for Eric.
maybe so.
Something interesting I want to point out, though, is back when they were running in turn 1 and 2 this lap, all 3 of the top 3 were running different lines. William Sparks is running lower than Dylan, who is running a little bit lower than Goforth.
Now, now look at them. Everyone's starting to fall back. Go forth, stuck up top. That is not where you want to be, especially you see those yellow stripes on the back bumper of that 44. Nobody wants to push that car.
And of course, Merzlik was looking at another pair of the double yellow stripes behind Max O'Quinn. He got out of line behind him, and now he's got Glenn Butler, who is classified as rookie, to his inside. And meanwhile, we have a couple of new guys up here that have made their way up to the front. That is Theodore Keene in the 33 for McLaren, and the 37 of Roberto Crown Jr., who has now worked his way up to fourth and looking to maybe get side by side with William Sparks for third here for Lionheart Racing. And then you have Tyler Blade Runner, who's racing for
Who's now
Merzlik
four
Racing,
wide?
who
Four
was
wide.
as Theodore Keene had no help and has lost at least 5 spots in the span of one tri-oval.
That's crazy. Yeah, it looks like the second pack back there is starting to.
Oh, I think I heard contact. I might have been mishearing something.
Ah.
Yeah, I misheard something. As Sean English in danger of losing the draft now. Of course, uh, Willard and Morris
Worse.
have lost the draft. They're running by themselves, so they're not going to lose as much time as they would if they were running by themselves. In fact, they might actually catch English here in about 4 or 5 laps or so, maybe. I don't know. All I know is Hayner's still on pit road for whatever reason. It's now we see a battle side by side for third. Crown Jr. has it at the line.
Something's got to be wrong with that zero car, other than the fuel leak. Cause I think I see them. What's going on down there? I'm trying to tell. Anyways, they are 3 wide for the entire field behind the number 60 car.
Yes, aside from the battle for second and the leader, they are basically 3 wide for a majority of the pack. Yeah, of course, don't look now, but look who worked his way back up to the front of the field. Hunter Kiro in that 92 Pepsi machine. Of course, Pepsi car in the Pepsi 400. Methinks something's fish. No, I'm just kidding. This isn't Dale Jr. in the 2001 Pepsi 400.
Oh, that's. But
I
that was a butt car. That was a butt car.
and I say that as a Dale Jr. fan.
Yeah, that was a Budweiser car, man. Come on.
I know.
But he definitely had something. I really think he had a lot of help in that car that day. Cause I
Whether
know
it's physical or supernatural, no one knows, and no one will know.
the world may never know what was inside that car that day.
What I do want to know is what the hell they put in that 60 car.
That is for sure. That 60 has been on another level. Has been on rails today.
Yeah,
But
there have been times where it's actually pulled away a little bit from the field as they battled side by side. But other times, obviously people have been able to close up.
however, remember when you're the leader of the race, you're burning more fuel than you are if you're the car behind.
Ah,
So
very
that
true.
60 is full throttle the entire way around, and drivers like the 77, the 2, the 37, the 22, they're all slightly off the gas, so they're burning just a little bit less fuel than that 60 car.
Yep. And it'll be interesting to see if this is going to be a one-stop or a two-stop race, considering, yeah, we're running 54 laps, but you also got to remember this is a 3-mile long super speedway. Typically, like Daytona, which is 2.5 miles, you go just above 40 laps on a single tank of gas. Talladega, you go about 40-ish laps, maybe just under.
Depends on depends on how you work in the throttle at Talladega.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, like, if these guys will need to make it on 2 stops here, considering it is like right on that cusp.
It's right on the edge
Of course,
of being just like Talladega, Daytona, and like we were saying, they were pulling away. They're closing right back in on the 60. but we're still 4 wide. A little bit of contact back there.
Yeah, and of course another track to mention for two stops last week at Pocono, because we had four drivers who couldn't quite make it the rest of the way. Everybody else was able to, thanks to the early caution and the caution that effectively ended the race. As we see, almost five wide there. Could have go for thought about it, thought better of it though, and remains behind the
Very
15. Ooh, contact a little
lot of
between the 23 and the 62.
maybe that's why Goforth wanted to look a little bit lower because he saw that contact happening and went any way of avoiding it if something were to happen. But Goforth, right in that yellow line, that's a lower line than we've seen a lot of people run on the front straightaway today.
Yeah, and interestingly, people aren't necessarily right on the yellow line even in turns, which is something you'd think people would want to do, especially considering that you don't run this track too indifferently from Daytona and Talladega, other than obviously you're going clockwise instead of counterclockwise.
This is definitely very interesting. I think everybody's a little bit nervous to go all the way down there because they don't know what the grip level is going to be like, especially in this pack. Whoa! 23 made an aggressive move on Could Go Forth. Luckily thought better of it, nearly caused a wreck right there.
Yeah, and of course nobody wants to be the one to cause a wreck, especially at a super
Def-
speedway.
oh man.
As Freeman Jr. has worked his way back up to the front of the pack, and he's now battling for second side by side with Blade Runner as they head down in turn one for the 19th time today. Wow, this race is going by quickly.
This race is flying by, and this top three is a very interesting one, I'll say that. Because we have two of the same manufacturer who I would expect Dylan to drop down in front of the 44 here in the next couple laps or so to get him clear of that Mercedes.
Yep. Interestingly, though, oh, we have trouble.
We have a wreck.
Oh, Fred McRiley, second super speedway race he's been in a row, and his return to after his injury at Pensacola. Steven Merzlik involved as well. Ryan Vaughn, Jensen Nomina looks like he was involved. Looks like that's Ricky Foxon might have also been involved. So
Very interesting that we missed that. I'm not too sure what happened. Probably just a case of too many cars trying to fit into one space because these triangles get really tight really quickly.
yeah, gonna go ahead and rewind here to see what exactly happened. And ooh, looks like it actually happened up here.
Too
Unlike,
many cars, too many cars trying to fit into one spot.
yep.
Oh,
Oh,
Merzlik, innocent bystander.
oh, if only he was like a couple inches further ahead, he
Oh,
would have avoided that. Oh, narrow miss for Calvin Richards in 83. Because if Merzlik got into him, oh, that could have been ugly for him. Oh, and
if
Samuel
I,
Henson Jr.
oh
Ooh, man, I
my
that
goodness.
man Samuel Henson Jr. just has not had the finishes of the season, but that is arguably one of the greatest things he's done so far this season.
That is very impressive right there.
Yeah, and see Kenningberg on the apron there trying to avoid. That is legal.
As long as you're not advancing your position.
Yeah, well, mainly avoiding the wreck. And unlike NASCAR, where even if you put one tire below that double yellow line, it in the NSCA, kind of similar to Formula One rules, you can have all but one tire below that line. It still counts. Just be sensible about it.
Very interesting finish right there. And here's the pit stops.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they aren't going to make it. Or actually, at least I don't think they can make it the rest of the way here.
Depends on how long you're in the draft for.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and accelerate. I should probably turn that off actually. As it looks like Dylan was able to get off pit road first.
This top two is a very. This top two is Ford. It goes Ford, Toyota up into P3.
Yep, and then you have Chevy, Ford rounding out the rest of the top 5 here.
Ford seems to have the upper hand on these super speedways. However, still a long way to go. Is a 3 mile super speedway. This is gonna get exciting here at the end. Can
Yep.
go with finally get around Dylan. Can anyone get around this number 60 car?
And in fact, it will actually be 31 laps to go, so they might actually be able to make it the rest of the way here. That might have been the pit stop they need. Who knows?
But do you think we see someone maybe try to play a strategy later on in the race in case of like a late race yellow comes out?
It's possible. Green flags out. Go forth
Or
looks low, ducks high. I don't
not a
think
sm-
I
not
don't
a
think
smart
that's
move.
going to be the smartest move.
He's not gonna go forth and do anything with that one.
Uh
I'm allowed to do it to myself, all right?
Ooh, here comes Armstrong now. He's now to the inside of the 60. This is the closest anyone has been to dethroning Dylan all day.
And I think he's gonna do it.
He's being pushed by arguably one of the strongest drivers in the field right now as well. And he's got a lot of help behind him, more help than Dylan does. Armstrong for the
And it's
advantage going into the corner. And
gonna
clears the
clear
60.
from third to first in one lap. Give it to Armstrong. I just butchered that.
No worse than what I've done in the past.
Is he going to be able to block down low, get in front of the 22? He does, all the way to that white line. Or, sorry, that yellow line. I'm colorblind today.
I wasn't going to say anything. Don't worry. As,
I'm
as,
color.
as
I
tempting
am color.
as tempting as it was, I wasn't going to say anything.
Hey man, when you're staying in the sun looking at it all day, you become colorblind.
But it's night.
Well, I've had to be here all day.
True, true. Reinhardt now side by side with Hunter for third position. So now it's going to be 3 different manufacturers in the top 4.
Getting to be very interesting as top four look to be single filed out. Never mind. Change that up immediately. Cars are going everywhere right now. Orange. I'm not even gonna try it.
Of course,
I'm
Toyota not too unfamiliar with winning here. In fact, in 2021, it was Calvin Richards driving a RTD Toyota. In fact, the same one that Hayner is currently sitting on pit road in. Um, that car won this race back in 2021 with Calvin Richards after he was fired from Red Bull that season. It was actually one of the bigger storylines of that season.
We have a bow for the race lead. The 99 making a great move to the outside, but it's not gonna work.
Especially with no help like he does here. Here comes the 88 of Alexis Phillips trying to make Eric Reinhardt Jr. proud. And she's being pushed by the 60 of Dylan. So Dylan didn't fall as far back as maybe the rest of the field would have liked.
Weren't you just mentioning the 88 was way back there earlier in the race?
I
Where did they
was.
come from?
Pit stops. And now here comes Cole
Fair.
Dillon looking to make it 3 wide. Armstrong goes down to block.
Also, look who else is back. Look who else is up here in that number 5 car.
Yep, Henson Jr. Although he's in
Henson
the
Jr.
middle of a 3 wide situation there, I don't
4 wide.
know.
They're
4
4
wide.
wide.
Dare I say 5 wide? They are 5 wide.
They are 5 wide. Yep.
Ooh, go forth and Blade Runner making contact with the 37.
Oh, 6
And
wide. We are 6 wide for a second. How did they not wreck?
I don't know, and they're still 5 wide.
Oh my goodness! And uh-oh. The field sees what's happening in front. Give that lead back. Cole Dillon says, "Not today. You've had your fun. Now I'm gonna take this race lead." Cole Dillon back to the race lead.
But don't look now. Alex Phelps looked to the inside there in turns 1 and 2. Couldn't quite get to the quarter panel of that 60, unfortunately.
I saw a lot of contact back there. Saw a car get sideways, but they keep it straight.
And interestingly, Cole Dillon has not been able to clear the 84. Armstrong still hitting strong on that outside. So far,
And
at least.
I don't think there's been a single lap where at least one row has not been 4 wide at some point during this race. Whoa, a little bit of contact. The 90s chasing the 57 way down to the yellow line.
Yeah, that's Brajan Stojanovic, a Serbian driver. Rookie driver driving the 90 for RTD Motorsports. And of course, the 57 is Harold McGranger. He actually won the Daytona 500 to open this season. So not too disfamiliar with the super speedways himself. As Cole Dillon just now, I believe, clearing the 84 off of turn number 2. Or maybe
Which
not.
is, I don't think so. I think Ornstruff got a huge push by the 99. The 99
Yeah!
up on the rear. The 99 just on the rear bumper of that 84. Holy!
Yeah, and Cole Dillon hasn't even gone even with the 84 as they run around the corner here. Maybe that Highline's coming in 3 and 4. Who knows?
And now it's going to be 3 wide for second place.
Armstrong clear of the field as they come across the stripe, move the 84 car back to the lead.
Very impressive by the 84 car.
If Darren Armstrong can hang on, this will be his second career win. Although here comes William Montoya. He wants to take that 99 car back to victory lane. Of course, the 99 car, the last time that car was in victory lane, Atlanta, or back in 2019, because that's when Kyle Corbett, one of the co-owners of that team, last won a race while also winning the championship.
Now that's a name I haven't heard in forever, Kyle Corbett. But back to this, the 99 is clear in front. The 02 been quiet today.
Been quiet. Dropped back early in the going here. Started second. Now she's back to second.
And another car I want to point out. Look a couple rows back in that brightly colored Chevrolet back there. The Axalta colors. 24 is making their way back up there after dropping out of the pack early in the race. They found something on that set of pit stops, and now is keeping up with the pack.
Yep. Mikey Willard trying to work his way back towards the front. Of course, one brightly colored car I want to point out, 59 and Dylan Maddox. He also has won a super speedway race. That was Armory Digital back in, I want to say it was 2019.
A lot of winners back in 2019, but now give the lead back to the 02, clears Montoya.
And now it's teammates side by side. Axiom Racing and Union, 1-2. But here comes Brett Kenningberg, the first of 2 rookies to win this season, back at Atlanta earlier this season. Wow, we have a lot of super speedway race winners up here at the front.
I mean, I guess when you win one, it starts coming to be more natural for you.
Yep.
And a bunch of the cars that are up here have been riding around all day. The 3 car was in the back in the very early portions. Now look at that, going for the race lead.
Yep, here comes Brandon Hancock. Of course, he was dominating Richmond Raceway earlier this season. Unfortunately, had a late race incident with a lapped car, and that gave the win to Theodore Keene and prevented Hancock from getting his first career win. Now here comes Calvin Richards to the inside.
But don't look now. Look, 3rd car in the bottom lane.
Yep, but he's got to get around 2 super speedway race winners in order to get there, although that might be easier
might be easier
done,
said than
easier done than said.
Here comes Cole Dillon. That 60 car is flying.
Richards can't block. And Cody Lamas 3rd in line behind Armstrong.
Cody
Uh,
Lamas always seems to appear when I'm on commentary.
Cody Lama's
Somehow
really
he
trying to turn it around after a string of bad luck. Sorry, didn't mean to kind of jump
no,
over you there.
all good. You're all good. Cole Dillon back to the race lead.
But for how long? We know he has a strong car behind him in Armstrong, who goes high. Worked for him once before. Let's see if it works for him now. As Cody
Not
Lamas makes
not
it 3 wide for second.
not enough help. Not enough help for the 84. He's gonna start dropping back a lot.
20 laps to go at the line.
20 to go. And we see Reinhardt's way in the back.
Yeah, just hasn't had the must not have had either good adjustments or just not adjusted at all and just dropped back throughout the entirety there. Of course, we see Brandon Hancock as well as both Axiom Racing drivers. They've dropped, well, kind of back, kind of not. Cody Lamas to the lead off of turn 4.
Can Cody Lamas turn that string of bad luck that he's had the last few weeks around with a win here and with a win here? I maybe not because here
Here
we
comes
have
Alana Keshiel in the
a lot of Keshiel. And look who else is up here. The sick car who was also dropping back early in the race.
Yep, Sean English in the 6 car. Of course, interestingly, Sean English has a win. Cody Lamas does not. Cody Lamas is the defending champion, and Cody has been a bridesmaid several times this season. He really wants to get a win.
He wants to get a win, but Keshiel says, not today. Give the lead to the 23.
And interestingly, Keshiel actually has won a race this year just a few weeks ago at Nashville.
And I like how I spoke too soon. Look who is second car in the inside lane already.
Never underestimate the Reinhardt family when it comes to super speedways, although they are 4 wide for third.
Oh boy, this
Oh,
could get big really quickly.
make that side by side for the lead. Here comes Granger using lessons he learned at Daytona to take the lead. Also,
Gonna
interestingly, we do have 3 cars, 5 cars, who have kind of fallen out of the draft. All of them, with the exception of Douglas, were involved in that wreck earlier in the race.
very, very true. The 15 trying to make a move for second. Gonna tuck right in line. Gonna dive it. Gonna try to look a little bit low. Try to get some cleaner air on the nose of that Chevrolet or that Dodge, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, could. Yeah, Dodge. There
Yeah.
it is.
And what a story of redemption it would be for Theodore Cox to finish well after what happened last time we were at a super speedway at Pensacola. Got injured, had to sit out for a few races. Jason Williams did okay in that car intermittently. And now here comes Theodore Cox back again. He's second right now. And now side by
That didn't last
side
long.
with the 37, as it looks like the top 3 are pulling away just ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly, but the more they battle up here, the quicker that pack catches, and they got some hungry drivers behind them.
Yep. Got Blade Runner. Heflin's finally up at the front for the first time today. Got Theodore Keene, who won. Why do I keep on saying Theodore Keene? It's Theodore
The
Keene.
door team.
Yeah. Anyways, we got Tyler Blade Runner, who's looking to turn around his string of bad luck this season. Got Theodore Keene, who wants to get win number 4 of the season. You got William Montoya, who wants to do Royals Corporate Racing proud and prove that he belongs on the grid. You got Samuel Hudson Jr., who wants to make the owner of All Star Motorsports less angry at him.
You've also got could it go forth who's just trying to
Who's just here.
who's just vibing looking for his first ever win in the NSCA.
Yep. You got Calvin Richards, who's looking to get his second career win at, ironically enough, the same track that he got his first at.
I mean, can't do it. And that 5 trying to make good on that wreck avoidance from earlier in the day, trying to go for it. But William Montoya to the race lead and starting to pull away.
Yep. They are 4 wide, meanwhile, just outside the top 5. But Brett Kenningberg thinks better of it.
Dorkeen looking down low in that Jack Daniels number 33.
Yep.
3 wide for P number 3. Getting the 5, close into that 99, make that side by side for second. Theodora Keen with a big head of momentum down the back into turns 3 and 4.
Yep, and Glenn Butler, who is driving for Copeland Racing on a part-time basis, she's back up towards the front now.
I apologize. That was turns 1 and 2. This is the back straightaway.
To be fair, I made the same mistake early in the race.
It gets without the numbers on the wall. It's kind of hard to tell from way up here in this commentary booth.
Yep, and it doesn't help that the track's big, so it takes them a while to get it back around, so you lose track of where you are.
Yeah, very, very true. They are 3 wide through the entire field. Just 3, 4. I saw some 5 wide not long ago. Getting down to crunch time.
Yep.
15 laps to go.
Getting ever so closer and closer and closer to that San Diego mark, and really, it's about really when 5 to go when it's go time. Not can't wait until it's 2 to go. You gotta go when as soon as possible, and just hope that somebody just doesn't continue to carry momentum past you.
Very true. You just gotta hang on for dear life once you get up to that front. And
Parrot,
if you can't get up,
go
if
ahead.
you can't get to the front, then push someone up there and try to get yourself up there.
Yep. As we see a pair of Toyotas working together, that's Kenningberg and Stojanovic.
Just trying to do anything they can.
Hopefully that improves relations between Canada and Serbia. I don't know what their relations are, but
I don't. I'm not too sure either. Even though I feel like I should know that, but I don't.
in any
Oh
case,
well.
top 4 now single file. That's the most we've seen all night long.
I think we saw a top 5 right before that first yellow, but same difference.
Here comes the 82 of Kenningberg now to the inside of Keene for second.
Good job by that 90, that 91, I believe that is, or just 90, just 90.
Just 90.
Good, good move by that 90 car to get down to the bottom so they could continue their run.
Yep. Kenningberg in the draft of 99. However, that's going to allow Stojanovic to get to his inside. Here comes Crago in the 62 with a push from the 38 of Freeman Jr. But don't look back too far because Cole Dillon is back in the hunt as well.
How does Cole Dillon do it? Just very impressive.
Push-ups, sit-ups, and plenty of juice.
I
Probably, maybe, I don't know.
mean, I guess he's living by the principle: if you ain't first, you're last, huh?
Don't look at the point standings to see how true that might be.
Oh my goodness.
However, he does have a hungry Alana hero right behind him in that 7 car. As we see Alana actually duck down to the bottom there to try and get side by side with the 60.
And will do it successfully.
Yep. Being pushed by the 6 of English. So they are now 3 wide for 4th place.
They're 3 wide everywhere. I don't think there's a single person who's safe right now.
Hell, you know what?
Because
I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it straight up. These guys can still win.
especially if we
These
get
guys can still win.
especially if we get a caution. Now, who do you think's been saving and who do you think hasn't been? That's the real question here.
That depends. Who's been just sprinting around the back this entire time?
Very true. Because not many of these guys have led a lot this race.
Or even
But
been
that could
close to the front.
very true. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how much fuel these guys have saved, if they've been saving at all.
Or if they need to save. Here comes Alana Hero now. She's going to take 3rd from Stojanovic and looks to take 2nd from Kenningberg.
Very, very true. And they are big, massive shove. And now they're ooh. Look like nearly a little contact back there with Theodore Keen. Top two trying to just pull away, make it just a race between themselves.
Yep. Of course, something interesting going into the last couple of races, Ford has not actually led the manufacturer's standings for a couple of races for the first time in quite a long time. Ford, of course, as I keep mentioning in a lot of these races, manufacturer's champions the last 4 years straight. Dodge is now leading. Ford is second with, I believe, Mercedes third, Pontiac fourth, Chevy fifth, and Toyota sixth.
So these guys are really trying. Ford's really trying to get back on top of that, trying to make it 5 straight manufacturers championships. Got a lot of work to do as we see some Fords back there making massive moves. It's starting to get close to crunch time with 10 laps to go.
Coming down to 9 to go as they come off of the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. And speaking of Ford, here comes Sean English trying to make it a Ford 1-2 and make it a Pontiac 3-4 with Toyota 5-6.
This is going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Who's your friends at this point are where you find them. It
Teammates?
doesn't
What
matter.
are teammates?
At this point, teammates don't exist, especially if you're running near this front or heck, even in the back.
Now the question is, does Sean English go for the win, or does he just ride behind the 99 and play shotgunner? Or rear gunner, I
You
should say.
you got to go for it yourself. Like you can't just ride around. You have to do something. Because if you want to do anything in this industry, you can't play the team game, especially not this late into a race, as we're just now starting the second half of the NSCA season. Like you said, time for you to make a name for yourself, because this is where contracts start getting handed out behind closed doors.
Well, apparently Sean English heard you because he's going for the lead. With a push from the
Right?
84 of Arnstruff with the 20. Oh, wait, never mind. Arnstruff is going for the lead for himself.
And
Arnstruff,
look
listen
who's
to you.
and look who else is making stuff happen. Theodore Keene in the 33, along with the 44, gonna go fourth. Contact contact between the O2 and I believe that's the 38.
It was hard to tell
It
because
was
of
a
the
gray and blue
angle.
car.
Yep, it would have been the 38 of Freeman because that's the only gray and blue car there is.
Theodore Keene looking really low. 22 tried to throw a block, thought better of coming down.
I think Sparks is trying to figure out who to go with, Arnstruff or English, and his hesitation allowed Keene to get to his inside and make the
Maybe
decision
so.
for him.
But now Theodore Keene gets sent out of line.
Four
O2
wide. Oh, contact, I believe, between 82 and 7.
The O2 was right on that yellow line.
Here comes Ray Takita. Imagine how
Can
big it would be for Axiom Racing Union if they can get a driver in victory lane this year.
That would be great for that team. That is what that team needs.
Especially
But
considering the
imagine
fact that that team has been a backmarker pretty much since that team, or since Axiom Racing or Axiom Logistics LLC bought out Rage Racing several years ago.
but imagine what a win could do to any number of these guys' careers. Just imagine.
Or any of their seasons.
Or any of their seasons. Like, take a look at that 44. He knows what he needs to do. He really wants this.
Or Dylan Maddox right behind him who's taking a look to the inside, can't quite get there. Sean English still trying to get to the inside of the 84, can't quite get there in turns 1 and 2. We'll have to see how see if he gets the run off of turn 2 and down the back straightaway.
I mean, they do have a little bit of help. The 84 looks like he moved up slightly, trying to block the run that the outside was starting to form up.
Of course, the outside does get a run.
A massive run at that.
Yeah, so that was a smart move by Arnstruff to block the 99 there. Here comes Takita looking to the outside of the 99 briefly. Falls back in line, but that causes the 22 Sparks to jump out. He falls back in line.
Arnstruff trying to become the conductor. He's trying to control the lanes, make them have to work to pass him. And it looks like that might be what's happening. Here comes the 6 of Sean English.
He's not quite being pushed by the 44, but the 44 is being pushed by the 33. Calvin Richards, I know, would like to get a win.
5 laps to go here. 15 miles left in this race.
And it's still anybody's race. Here comes Richards to the inside.
Richards had a run, got tired of sitting behind that 44. That's what I'm saying. People don't trust those people with those yellow stripes on the rear bumper, but Goforth did a great job right there holding him off.
Well, Les held him off and more. Richards had no help go with him. 92 stayed in line behind the 44.
Very, very true. But now Sean English is still trying to fight with the 84, coming to 4 laps to go.
Get the cameras ready. We might be setting up for another fantastic photo finish here tonight.
We might be now it looks like the 83 is finally going to get underneath the 44 car. Sean English with no help now. And look, third car, middle lane.
Yep.
They can hear the Jaws music now. But Sean English gets a big push with the 44. The 44 is able to stay right in line, but the 84 is... I think the 84 is too far out in front.
84 was too far out front, but he was briefly side by side with the 99 going into turn 3. Oh, as we see cars pulling up the pit road.
It stops.
It is a fuel mileage race.
They can't make it. Heartbreaker for the 84 from leading the race to having to pit with just 3 laps to go.
Never say never. More of these people might need to pit, considering it is only a few laps to go.
Only 3 laps to go. Who's going to make it back? Who's going to make it?
Can anyone make it? Will it be a matter of just trying to get up to speed as quickly as possible as we see Echo Evans Ross merge back on track in front of the pack? Thankfully, far enough ahead where it's not going to be a LePage moment.
But that could cause some issues.
Yep, as we see...
Just like right now, Sean English had to lift because he thought Evans Ross was going to be in the way.
Yep, as we see Montoya go from top to bottom, he's coming down pit road this time, as does English, Goforth, Henson Jr., Kenningberg, Bishop, and others.
So can these guys make it back around?
In fact, all 3 All-Star Motorsports drivers, the 24, 48, and 5, pit this time by. So maybe a strategy call to try and get a team win here. Takeda, now the leader, I believe, because I think these guys pitted.
They did pit. Takeda's the leader with coming to the white flag this time by, actually. Can they make it? 6 miles.
Well, it's more like 4 miles now. 4.5, yeah.
Who comes down pit road right here? Does Takeda come in?
Does anybody come in? Sparks comes in.
Sparks comes in. Takeda stays
Sparks
out.
the only one that comes in this time by.
That's going to cost him, I think.
No, incorrect. Trego also comes in behind the 22.
So this is going to be a race. White flag in the air. One more time around. Takeda trying to hang on.
Takeda, Maddox, Dylan, and Keshiel left to fight it out for the lead. Reminder, the 43 of Evans Ross, a lap down.
Maddox looked low. Here comes Dylan looking even lower. Can Cole Dillon mount some sort of charge down this back straightaway for the final time? No, maybe not. The 23 is making a move.
In turn number 3. Does anybody run out coming to the line?
Takeda looks to be strong. Can Maddox get there? I don't think he's going to get there.
A car length and a half ahead of the 59. Off of turn number 4.
Ray Takeda plays a strategy.
To the line, it is going to be Ray Takeda taking the checkered flag. Maddox second. Dylan, I believe, got third.
What a finish. Fuel strategy race. How about it?
And there are people who came down pit road. Richards and the 7 of Alana Kiro.
We're racing back to the line between the 8 and the 2.
Uh, couldn't quite tell who got it that time by, as these guys are still racing back themselves.
English Montoya, go forth.
And Lamas edges the position for or against the 37. Looks like these guys are still cruising under their own power, so they had
Maybe
just enough fuel.
they had just enough. That's actually very impressive.
In fact,
Maybe they're the one.
in fact, the
Oh,
only person that was on the apron is the 23 of Keshiel, but she's going about the same speed as everybody else, so I don't know.
what a race. What a finish. How about it?
Yep. Takeda, Maddox, and I was right. Cole Dillon did take third. Blade Runner fourth. Lana Keshiel fifth. Kiro sixth. Fedor Keen seventh. McGranger eighth. Plaxico ninth. And Erica Reinhardt rounds out the top 10. Of course, some late race pit stops caused some calamity.
Surprisingly, no massive wrecks. We only had that one, like, what, 5 car wreck?
Yeah. And Cody Hayner does round out the top 40. He did technically start the race, but just like Toronto, technically did not complete any laps, but will still be scored 40th position. So a tough break
Yeah,
for that RTD team.
did, did he even cross the line once?
Only to start the race. He
Jeez,
came down on lap one, but his pit stalls before the start finish line.
that's rough for that team.
Yep.
Well, that was an exciting finish right there.
Yep. Of course, I'm going to have to edit the results to have these guys not be quote unquote retired. But,
Yeah.
well, that was certainly an exciting race. Not what I was expecting. Uh, but I think I still technically called earlier in the race. I don't know. I don't know how you would score that. But Cody, thank you for joining me for a commentary for this one.
And I appreciate you having me. That was definitely a lot of fun. And I hope to do it again sometime.
As we see two drivers still on track, that's Heflin and Kiro. They are, I think, on the back straightaway. I can't tell where they exactly are on track. Yeah, they're entering turn three, but they are out of gas, so
They
they are just
they
putting
are
in the clutch.
completely out of gas.
Anyways, next time around it is Iowa. So short track, not so short tempers, and of course one of my favorite tracks actually to race at. So
It's a very fun racetrack. I may not be the best at there when I race at it, but it's definitely a lot of fun. Gonna provide for some great entertainment.
yeah, if anything, just it's a slightly bigger Richmond.
Yeah.
I've noticed. But anyways, that's next time. Until then, thank you all so much for watching. Again, Cody, thank you for joining me. And until then, we'll see you at the next race. So long, everybody.